First race of the week at Charlotte Motor Speedway. It's a very fast 1.5 mile track. I've already run some practice laps around here. This is All-Star Weekend, or this would be All-Star Weekend if NASCAR had not gone on hiatus and had to alter their schedule. This would have been the All-Star race weekend, and next weekend would have been the Coca-Cola 600, the longest race in NASCAR, here at Charlotte. But yeah, with this new package with the tapered spacers on these cars, you do not have to tap the brake whatsoever in these corners. You do have to let off the gas a little bit, kind of breathe the throttle, if you will, to get the grip around the bottom. Other than that, you can almost go wide open. So we'll see that here in practice. Just a quick little overview before I get out there. Some of the things I noticed while I was practicing. All right. He's probably going to spin out. He almost lost control right there. Managed to keep it going. Hopefully we can get a toe off, and that's going to be the other thing that plays a big role in the races at Charlotte here this week. There's going to be a lot of drafting going on, and so staying with the pack of cars ahead of you is going to be really important. Should be a decent lap right there. 0.8. Kind of got us close to a first place lap. Not quite, but almost. Session. Could not get get back to the gas in turns 3 and 4 on a long 2. It's actually 2:01 now, which is interesting. Interesting that we haven't been able to load into the race session yet. So, we're going to do it manually. There we go. There we go. Looks like at least one driver will be able to complete a lap here. Really good for the first lap, too. So both laps are going to count right here. We're going to have to, our fastest lap is most likely going to be the second lap since we're going to use our first lap to get to speed. Takes a little while for these cars to wind up on a track like this. Did improve a little bit, not much. A slight improvement on lap number 2. The lap definitely could have been better, but, you know, it's not too bad. Especially since this is our first race of the week. You know, it's fine. We're going to probably start somewhere mid-pack. In practice, the fastest lap I ran, I think, was a 29.010, which would have been good enough for second in this session, but yeah, we just weren't able to get to the bottom of the racetrack, or at least hug the bottom of the racetrack the way I wanted to. So we're going to probably start somewhere in the middle right here. There's about a minute and a half left in this qualifying session, and then we'll have time to grid up. Looks like there will be 24 cars in this field. Yeah, let's go take a look at the lap that I set. So this is my second lap. You can see I make it to the bottom. And, you know, I think the problem in turns 1 and 2 is I didn't get back to the gas fast enough because I had a little bit more room to drift out closer to the wall and I didn't take it. Turns 3 and 4 was actually really good, but turns 1 and 2 I was probably being a little bit more conservative than I needed to be. And so we improved our second lap from our first by a couple 100ths of a second, go from a 29.144 to a 29.121, but yeah, still could have been a better lap. And thank God we did set that second lap, because if we didn't, we would have actually been back in 13th place right now. So, I mean, just a couple 100ths of a second made a really big difference in our position, even if it's not exactly where I want to be starting. So right now we're back to 10th place right now. Yeah, we'll see how it goes during the race. I mean, I tend to be better at the shorter tracks like we were racing at last week. Like Iowa, you know, Richmond, Martinsville, Bristol, those short tracks, I tend to be much better at those tracks compared to the intermediate speedways for some reason. But that should definitely make it interesting to see if we can perform well. Another 5 seconds or so and we'll grid up and get going. Probably only going to be 1 pace lap, mile-and-a-half track. So we're gridding in, yeah, there's going to be 1 pace lap, and we'll go racing. 62 laps around this track, so it's going to be a pretty long race. I mean, to put that into perspective, we did 75 laps at last week's track at Iowa. Iowa is a 7/8 of a mile track, and this is a mile-and-a-half racetrack, so, you know, it's probably going to be a slightly longer distance overall compared to Iowa. And even more than that, we actually ran 75 laps at Martinsville as well, and Martinsville's a half-mile racetrack. This is a full mile longer than that, and we're running 62 laps. So definitely going to be a pretty long race. Hopefully it won't run over an hour, though. I mean, I'm hoping it's not too long. It'll all kind of come down to how many cautions there are and how good people are at not wrecking here. At Iowa, they're much like with many of the short tracks, there were a lot of wrecks and a lot of cautions. I feel a little bit more confident about that not happening at a track like Charlotte, though, just because there's a little bit more room, there's a little bit more opportunity, you know, for spreading out. It's a wider racetrack, it's a longer racetrack, and so hopefully people will keep it together and not start wrecking. Another 15 or so seconds and we're going to get going. And we are going to roll off from 10th place. Looks like 18 guys set lap time, so yeah, we kind of ended up smack in the middle of the qualifiers. And again, there are 24 cars that will start the race. But here we go, we're rolling. Well, I'm gonna wait for the leaders to roll, but then we'll roll. There we go. We will be starting on the outside this time to start the race. I don't think that's going to be preferred here at Charlotte. Looks like you really want to be on the inside lane, all the way down near that blue line that separates the racing surface from the apron. You really want to be hugging that going down into the corners. But at the same time, you have to think about how, unlike in practice or qualifying, you have to think about how drafting is going to play into the equation. Since we're running with those tapered spacers, this track almost runs like Daytona or Talladega. You're barely lifting off the gas going into the corners. You're not even hitting the brake at all. So it's kind of similar to Daytona and Talladega in that regard. So definitely drafting is going to play a big role here. We'll see how that kind of changes the race. It may make the outside lane a little bit more competitive than it certainly would be if you were running alone, but we'll see if that's the case. And the pace car is off. I'm going to start focusing now. Green flag. I want to get down to the bottom really badly. Looks like I'm having a chance right here. Woo! Got into the back of that guy, completely took him out. He checked up a lot more than I expected him to, and he just went right around. Everyone checked up really hard, and I did not anticipate that. That's my bad. So I'm not really sure how this track is on the tire wear. I'm not even sure who I just spun out right there. I should probably check on that so I can apologize. I mean, he did check up really hard, or harder than I expected him to, so I can't completely blame that on myself, but at the same time I did take him out, so. Yeah, everyone's gonna, a couple guys coming for tires. So might as well. I mean, if most of the guys are coming in front of me, might as well. First race of the week. Don't really want to gamble too much. So now we have 4 fresh tires, even though we're only 4 laps in. Especially on Iracing, the tires tend to wear pretty quickly no matter what track you're at. So it can always be a little tiny advantage for you to take tires. And especially since we were stuck in the outside lane for the first 2 laps, that really kills the tires when you're grinding the tires trying to get it to turn around the outside. So could help us out. Now, when we pit, we were in 11th place, or we were in 10th place when we pit. We were in 11th before we wrecked that guy. Looks like right now we're in 1, 2. I'm trying to count the cars. 1, 2. It's hard to count the cars when you're going around a corner. So we'll just wait a second. Scoring will update at the start-finish line, but alright, here we go. Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we're in about the same spot. I think we're in like 12th or 13th right now. Looks like we're probably in 12th since we're on the outside. Maybe 14th? I'm not sure. 12th. Yeah, we're in 12th. So we only lost really 1 or 2 spots. And we took 4 fresh tires, so... Let's see if we can start gaining some spots. We're stuck on the outside, or in the outside lane again, so again we want to get back down to the bottom. And it's not like you lose a ton of momentum getting stuck on the outside, but it'll wear down your tires fast, and soon enough you're going to go toward the back. Green flag. Decent restart. Oh, might be able to clear ourselves here. Definitely. We're clear on the inside. Might have to do a little bit of blocking here. This we lost a lot of momentum off 4. We're good. There's a good corner right there, catching him. Back to where we started, 10th place. You really want to hug that blue line without touching it, if you can. Without touching the apron, I should say. These guys are getting racy up here. Take that spot right there. Jump to the inside of this guy. way out of the groove right there. I did not touch him. Didn't touch him at all, and that's what happened. Not sure what's going on with that car. He's going to gain a lot of momentum off the corner though. Up to 7th right now. Woo! Definitely. What is happening? What is going on? What is going on right now? Clearly, there's a wreck starting, and everyone started checking up, and I don't know. I don't know what just happened, but we're in 5th. Might have a little bit of front end damage. We'll have to check on that because he absolutely slammed on his brakes. Yeah, those fresh tires seem to help us out in that last run and gain some spots. So we're up to P5. Let's see if we can get any more. Hopefully we don't have too much front end damage from that. I mean, our hood isn't pushed up or anything. I mean, it doesn't look too bad. There might be like a few seconds of options to check. A track like this having any amount of damage is really detrimental just because you're going so fast. You need all of that aerodynamic advantage you can get. Yeah, when you're going this fast, especially, I was right on this bumper, so I couldn't see anything that was happening. It's kind of hard to tell if there was a wreck. Don't want to speed on pit road, gotta be careful. Yeah, we got 25 seconds. So we're gonna want to fix all 25 seconds of that, unfortunately. We've got to stop, we got to stay here and fix that. Just because a track like this, it's so important not to have any damage. It sucks, but it's gonna help us out. So we're going to be way back here now, but it's okay. There's a lot of racing left to go. No idea why the guy in front of me slammed the brakes so hard. That was crazy how much he hit the brakes. Like when people are wrecking in front of you, it's probably better to just try to avoid it than to slam your brakes, because if you slam your brakes, you're almost guaranteeing that there's going to be a wreck because the guys behind you can't see what's going on. I mean, these deck lids are very high. Like, imagine I'm right on the bumper of someone. Like, that takes up like half of my field of view right there. I can't see anything that's around that car at all. So you got to see it from my perspective. Like, I can't see anything, and that's true for everyone else too. If you slamming on the brakes is not a good way to try to avoid a wreck. Unless you dive down low off the racetrack before you slam the brakes, like you just got to get out of the way. You've got a big freight train of cars behind you that are at speed. If you slam your brakes, you're going to get piled into. Alright, here we go. Looks like that front end damage is hurting us a little bit. Definitely not driving the same as it was before. Not turning as well as it was. It's getting really tight for sure. Yep, my car's gonna blow up. Definitely some front end damage that's not repairable. Oil temperature is getting hot. Only 25 seconds for options, that's all it took. Car is on the verge of overheating right now. Oil temp is in the red. Either I pit or it's going to blow up. Honestly, even if I pit though, there's nothing I can really do about it. So I just got to go until it blows up because, I mean, I can't fix any more damage on pit road. I basically fixed everything I could. He checked up way too hard on the racetrack, so we're going to pay the price for that one, unfortunately. Trying to keep the car cool right now. starting to cool off a little bit now. I'm not really sure what happened to cause that incident where we ran to the back of the car in front of us, but we were going at full speed, and then just all of a sudden he slams on his brakes. I don't know why. Still don't know why. We're going to have to look at the replay as soon as we hop out of the car. Super tight, cannot get it to turn. Ever since we made contact with that car. We're going to the wall right here. Pretty much just a rolling brick at this point. I mean, we're just chilling right here. We're not going anywhere fast. Clearly some engine damage or some front end nose damage after that incident back when that second caution came out. Definitely hurting our corner. It made us really tight. And definitely lacking a little bit of power on the straightaways, a little bit when we're not in the draft. the draft has been the thing that's kind of been holding us to the guys in front of us, but now that they've kind of pulled away a little bit, the deficits are really starting to show even more. Made it all the way up to the top 5 before that incident happened, and as soon as it happened, we just dropped like a rock all the way back to 18th. So hopefully we have better luck when we race here for the second time. Because unfortunately this one was just not going to go our way. Just as unfortunate as that I always get involved in the last incident, or basically the last caution. Whatever the last caution is, I'm involved in it, and then there's no more cautions after that. No more cautions to take anyone else out and give us a chance at gaining more spots. As soon as we sustain any amount of damage that we can't repair, that's when the race goes caution free. So we're just kind of running the laps out right now. We're making some good passes early on, but this damage is going to make that impossible. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if we got lapped coming up here soon. The leaders probably aren't too far back there. Probably about half a lap down by now. Oh, we can check. We are right now running in 19th. 18th rather. 13 seconds off the lead. so that's going to put us slightly less than half a lap down right now. Only about 14 seconds behind me right now, which means that I'm more than half a lap down now. 10 laps to go. Might gain one more spot right here. We'll see. catch him unless he makes another mistake. Catching this 19 car really quickly though. Definitely gonna be able to get him right here. Yep. So we're gonna pick up one more spot. That's probably it though. Flag right here. At least we'll finish on the lead lap, but certainly disappointing that some minor damage, or what appeared to be minor damage, ends up kind of taking us out of contention. So let's go back to the incident now. Believe that happened somewhere around here. I'm not even looking at the front flag right now. Let's take a look at what happened. So it looks like the 5 car goes around off the bumper of, let's take a look who that is. The 19 car. Looks like that 19 car slides up just a little bit, as was mentioned in the chat, I believe, at one point. And so that provokes 20 to slam on the brakes. Kind of a poor reaction, but yeah, I can understand why he did it. I came right into his bumper, not being able to anticipate anything, because this is what I can see during this wreck. Like, I can't see that 5 car is starting to spin. Like, I can't see that from this angle. Like, there's slight evidence here from that blue car, that 19, I believe. There's slight evidence there that, you know, he's turning to the left a little bit more than normal, as if he's trying to avoid something. but yeah, I can't see. And so here there was a slight indication of smoke, but obviously it's still going to be very difficult for me to see when I'm going 170 miles an hour right here. And so I don't finally realize what's going on until right about here when that 7, or until that, what number is he again? Until that 20 car is already slamming on his brakes. And so bang. And so that's ultimately what gave us some nose damage that took us out of contention to compete for that win. The leader, or the pole sitter for the race, also suffered similar trouble and ends up finishing as the last car on the lead lap in 19th place. We ended up 21 seconds behind the leader. But anyways, hopefully the next one goes well. Just some very difficult circumstances. Unfortunately, we were in the wrong place at the wrong time, sustaining some damage that took us out of a chance to win. But definitely optimistic. We were pretty fast in practice. We made some good passes early on in the race, and we just take what we learned here and move on to the next one. And it should be an exciting week of racing.